Well, ladies and gents, we're finally at a pond that I think is worthy of fishing. I stopped by a couple today, decided that if I put my kayak in there, it'd be an absolute waste of time. But this one looks promising. I've never been here before. Maybe it'll hold something like bowfin and I'll have a super cool video. Let's get this kayak packed up and get out there. Then we talk a little bit about how to find new ponds to fish around you. First, before you get out on the water though, you're gonna wanna do some online scouting. I'm gonna cut back to my house, teach you a little bit about that, come back here, meet you right back on the water. So you may already have a pond in mind. Maybe you drove by one on the road, you saw it, marked it down, but maybe you're just looking to fish a new place and you need to go somewhere else. So I do both. If I drive by something that looks good, I'll mark it on my map. I'll come back to it later. If I'm looking for something on a map specifically, I'm gonna start that search on Google Maps. So for the sake of this video and people on the internet not knowing where I live, I'm gonna start this search somewhere around this area. We'll say I live where this pin on the Wachusett Mountain ski area is. So I've never fished over here at all, and this will be pretty perfect. So let's go into this one, Meeting House Pond. Once you have a pond picked out on Google Maps, you can click this little icon right here at the top right. So I guess you guys can't really see that. Right there, that little symbol, click on that. Then you go over to satellite, right there. This is gonna give you a good layout of what the pond actually looks like. You can see a lot of this kind of looks like mucky. You can scroll around the whole place, kind of see what the depths are around. And usually if ponds have big patches of lily pads, you'll be able to see it on the maps. This one doesn't really look like it does. So at this point, we can go over to whatever search engine you use. I use Safari. Type in the name of your pond and the location of it, like what town it's in. Then you can type in the name of the pond, and if you put in fishing after, it'll usually come up with whatever reports of people who fish there. Usually you'll get a good species list on some trustable website. Like here that says largemouth, smallmouth, crappie. There's a lot of websites like this. Even your state might have lists of ponds and then the species that are inside of them. You can keep doing this for whatever pond you want. Obviously when you're looking around in your area, you're gonna know which ponds you fished and whatnot. So if you find one you haven't fished, maybe it's like out in the middle of the woods, it's a bit of a walk, it's gonna be a pretty good bet that no one's really been there much. And those ponds that you can find that are unpressured, like in the middle of the woods, some of the best fishing I've ever had. The other thing you can do is type in depth map after that. Now the ponds won't always have a depth map. It's kind of like 50-50. Depends how well known the pond is. I see there's nothing coming up here. If you have an app that tells you depth maps, you can move to that. I use Navionics. It is a paid subscription, but it does help me a lot, so I don't mind it. Now it doesn't seem like there's a depth map for this pond on the app either, so that's fine. You can kind of gauge it when you're at the pond. Now the last thing you need to do is find a place to launch your kayak or boat, whatever you're using. If you're going from shore, it's a lot easier. You usually have a place to park and a public place to fish it. But say if I'm launching my kayak, I have this app, which I use for hunting, tells me all of the public land around wherever I am. So I'm assuming with this pond, you actually can fish it because it's a water department. But let's pretend like we are gonna fish it. This whole thing is public. So I'd probably go up here where the road is closest to the pond. It's good to have 2 or 3 different spots that you can launch, like up here, or you could go over here. That way, if one spot fails, you can go to another. It's not a big deal. Now, a better example of what a launch would actually look like is you have this whole pond. The only public section is over here. You can see it's like a beach or gravel type of area. And that will probably be your place to launch. But that's about it for online scouting. I'll get right back to the fishing. Now, if you're wondering why I'm shirtless, long story short, I was bear scouting earlier and fell like stomach deep into a little swamp hole full of mud. So yeah, my shirt was very dirty and I didn't feel like being damp and muddy all day. So here I am. Anyway, back to the important stuff. Once you're actually out on the water in whatever pond you want to fish, you're gonna want to get out here and just look around, see what you see. Like for example, I'm looking around, there's a lot of little small bait fish swimming around on the surface. I've seen a few little bass chasing them around. So in that case, I'm gonna throw a popper. I was gonna throw one anyway, but that just solidifies that answer for me that I should be throwing a popper. Say if you're seeing some big bluegill or maybe even perch, you could throw around a jerk bait in whatever color the bait is. You could throw a spinner bait, whatever color that bait is. Whenever you come to a new pond, your best course of action is usually throwing whatever bait is in there. Now, a lot of people will come out to a spot especially at a new place that you don't really know like where is good in the pond. Always a good idea to kind of just fish everything, not skip over too much. Oh, look at this. Bang. Oh, good bass. Oh, you can just see the weight coming over to it. Tell you guys, sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Nothing crazy, but that's the first fish in a brand new pond I've never been to, so I won't complain. Now, before I get too deep into this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to Old Town. I really can't thank them enough for sending me this kayak. This thing is absolutely insane. It's stable enough for me to stand up on. I can paddle. I can pedal if I need to do anything with my camera or chuck a fishing line while I'm moving. And best of all, it gives me a sense of security to where I can lean forward, grab my camera, and shoot some cinematic stuff while I'm fishing, which is not something I can say for many kayaks. So once again, thank you to Old Town. But anyway, oh, there's a fish. Ah, come here. Ah, decent bass right there. Let me get some line out. Oh, he came off. See you later. Still in the channel, not the main pond yet, but you can see they're coming right off the edge of these lily pads, like I was saying. Now I'm out in the main pond. You can see there's a good amount of lily pads going around the bank over here, so I'm gonna continue to do what I was doing, throw some frogs around. Also probably pull out my popper and throw it around the edge of these pads. So let's see what we can get into as far as that goes. Bang, that's a fish. Come here, buddy. A little bass. Nothing too serious. Holy fuck. Nice little guy, about probably a little smaller than the last one actually. Coming off these little islands of lily pads. Now we're doing decent out here. Haven't been out too long. We got 2.5 fish. That one, the second one I got on the frog, made it to the kayak and then came off, but should be 3 fish, so not doing terrible. There's another one. Oh my god. How did he come off? Unbelievable. I was just about to say it's a bit windy and I kind of want to switch to like a spinnerbait or something, but this popper's seeming to still work in the wind pretty well, so I don't know if I'm going to switch. Oh, are you kidding me? Come on. There we go. You came back for it. This is a pretty good one too. Wind's picking up. I think a storm's about to roll in, but I'm still catching fish, so look at that. A little bit bigger, not by a lot. left that shirt in the car anyway. Wouldn't have even mattered. Well, I kind of knew a storm was coming because A, the weather predicted it, and B, whenever the wind really picks up and you see some not nice looking clouds coming by, usually a good indicator. But if you wait until after the storm, get a nice calm pond like this, because the storm takes all the wind with it, and now I'm here with some stellar popper conditions. Oh, right off the bat. Give me that. Come here. Oh, buddy has some acrobatics for me. Come here. Oh, that's a nice one. Come here, buddy. Yep, that's a good looking fish. Oh, nice little 3. I'm gonna say that's a 3. I should start measuring these just to see how accurate I am. Stop it. Stop it. Take a look at that guy. Absolute beaut. As you can see, the new pond's producing pretty well. I've seriously never been here, but usually a good bet if you don't know what to do or what the pond that you're at's like, stick around these lily pad lines. Like, you can see all I've been doing today is chucking a popper around some lily pads, and it's gonna depend on the time of year, but throw a lure around some lily pads and usually a good bet. It's funny though, whenever I use this thing, I'll throw it, it'll hit the water, and half a second later I'll give it one pop and they'll just demolish it. It's crazy. Don't abuse me, guys. I'm just Northeast Outdoors, just trying to catch some fish, guys. It's insane how fast swans grow. Like, it's nuts. These things were probably born 3-4 months ago. Look at them. It's almost as big as their parents. So I know we're talking about fishing new ponds here, so a couple other things I like to do when I'm at a brand new place and I don't really know what's going on. If I don't have a depth map, I'll take whatever type of lure that I have tied on already that can sink pretty well. I'll go to like different points in the pond, like go to the middle, go to the sides, drop it down, see how deep it is. That'll give me a good gauge on if I'm fishing the right areas, because during this time of year they like to have access to some deeper water pretty close by. So knowing how deep the pond is in different areas is going to give you a good idea. Also, I wish I brought it, but I don't have it. I like to catch smaller like bait fish, like see if there's crappie, bluegill, perch, whatnot, and I'll bring my panfish rod. I really like to know if there's crappie in any type of pond I fish, just because I have as much fun catching those as I do bass. They're a fun little fish to catch. They also taste very good. If you know what type of smaller fish are in a pond that you're fishing, you know what the bigger fish are eating. So definitely a helpful thing to do. Oh, there we go. Is that a pickerel? Oh, it's a pickerel. I thought I was steering clear of the pickerel today. Low key kind of looks like a pike, but I know it isn't. Nice little. I thought I found a pond with minimal pickerel in it. We're gonna have to see how many of those we catch. Bang. Oh, I only had one hand on my rod. Ooh, it's a dark one. Well, that's why I don't typically hold on to the small ones when they have a treble in their mouth, because they like to do stuff like that. I've lost count, but I think that's like number 6 or 7 for today. Dark one though. are sick of me throwing the frogs and poppers yet, but it's just so efficient. If it isn't broke, why fix it? And plus, it's great for the camera. Topwater is like so fun to film. So you get the blow ups instead of me just like hooking up to something under the water that you can't see. You get to witness the fish just munch on it. I think it's a good way to do it for this channel. Maybe I should change my name, something to do with topwater. The topwater tickler. Definitely not that. Oh, there we go. That's a decent one, I think. Oh, he's a good one. Come here, buddy. Yeah, that's a nice one. Oh, he does not want to come up. Oh, he came off. Oh my god. It's okay. That was probably like 3.5. That was a good one though. I knew when that thing came up and only had one hook left in him that he was probably popping off. Ooh, what the hell? Didn't even know I had a fish. State record alert. Unbelievable. Let this young individual go. See you later. Well, that's probably gonna be all for today's video. I encourage you guys, next time you go out fishing, look at your maps, find a little pond around you that you haven't been to before. Test her out. I mean, you can see today, I'll probably be back here. This is a good little hole. Well, I wouldn't call it a hole, it's a pretty big pond, but it's a good spot. I caught a lot of fish. There's a bunch of different variety and size, and there's a good amount of them. And they like to eat. That makes the qualities of a good fishing spot. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. I appreciate you all who clicked and subscribe and like and everything. And I'll see you on the next one.